In this video, I'll walk you through submitting your weekly check-in via Apotheo. And here we're going to go through the web version. If you prefer to use the app, we have a separate walkthrough for that. And keep in mind, this will look different depending on how your coach has things set up. So on the dashboard here, we've got habit tracking. Usually you check these off each day, but as you'll see in a second, you can fill out any missing days during your check-in. If your coach hasn't assigned you habits to track, then you won't see this section. To submit your check-in, you can go to the same URL that you've been using to sign up, and you should also have an email notification that your check-in is due, which will have the link in it. Once you're logged in, you can click on check-in in the nav bar, or this banner on the dashboard to go to the check-in section. If your coach has given you nutrition targets and you're tracking your nutrition intake with an app, you can connect that from this section. So if I click connect now, that's going to take me to the account page in the integration section, and then I can choose from one of these options, so Chronometer, Fitbit, Macros First, MyFitnessPal, My Macros Plus, or NutriCheck. You can also sync macros from Apple Health via the Apotheo app, and that lets you sync from other apps like MacroFactor. So for this example, I'm going to connect Chronometer. So I hit connect. It's going to go to chronometer.com and ask me to authorize Apotheo to read my nutrition data. And once I click that, I'll see that Chronometer is connected. While we're on this page, I'll also connect Oura, and that's going to pull in steps and sleep, resting heart rate, and the Oura scores so that my coach can see those. So if I go back to the check-in section, I can see that these macros have synced from Chronometer. All I need to do now is select what my target was for that day. So in this example, I've got training days and rest days. Again, that might be different for you. You might have a single target and it will automatically be selected. Once the targets are selected, these boxes will turn green or red to show you how close you were to your target. And if there was a day that you didn't track, you can select didn't track and choose from one of these reasons. You can also check off whether you did lifting or cardio that day, and you can add any comments on the right here. Once that's complete, I click next, and if your coach has you tracking measurements, you can enter those on this section. To enter multiple weights, you can just click the plus sign here and select the date and enter the weight, and then you can enter your other measurements. In this example, you'll see that the measurements section is optional for this check-in. So if your coach has measurements set to be required every 2 weeks, you'll still see the measurements section, but you won't have to complete it every single week, only every other week. And if we click here to skip to the photo section, you'll see the same thing. This section is optional for this week. Typically you'll check off your habits daily, but if you missed any days during the check-in periods, you can complete those as you're going through your check-in. So I can just click here to complete the missing days and then hit next. Then you have the check-in questions. Again, this will likely look different depending on what your coach has set up. Each question is saved as you enter it. So if I hit refresh and then go back to this section, you'll see that the question that I just answered is still there. So this means you can fill out parts of your check-in anytime during the week. It doesn't have to all be on check-in day, or you can complete most of it the night before your check-in's due and then just add your weight, for example, in the morning and then submit it. Once you get to the submit page, it will show you if any of the sections are missing anything, and you can also click to review the check-in before you submit it. So here you can see it's pulled in the Oura scores, sleep, steps, resting heart rate, HRV, and then you've got everything that's synced from your nutrition tracker, habits, and your answers to the questions. And you're able to submit your check-in anytime on or after the due date. And depending on your coach, your check-in might get skipped until the following week if it's more than a certain amount of time overdue. So once that's ready, I'll click submit and I'll get a confirmation that the check-in's been submitted. And now everything's reset to the following week.